Al Sharpton and the BLM scammers have had a very busy year. They have found themselves in a host of different race baiting, race hustling situations that they will indeed profit from. I guarantee it. And in this specific case, they're going to be marching. They're going to be crying, screaming, yelling, and of course, selling t-shirts and other merchandise based upon this situation. Now, this is a sad situation. The whole entire story is a sad situation. But the part that really gets me and the reason why I feel it's something we need to bring to light is because there's a lot of disingenuousness when it comes to what the hell actually happened here. Right. So what they want you to believe, the mass media propaganda machine, is that this is a situation of another young black man who was gunned down by a racist white police officer. When in truth, it's a story of a young black man, happens to be young and black, who was part of a car robbery, who had a loaded weapon on him, likely pointed it at the police officer, according to the police officer's own his own report. And we will see based off the body cam footage and things of that nature. But lo and behold, car definitely stolen, weapon definitely found, cop definitely took his life. And the next day, the father definitely took a police officer's life. Not the cop who took his son's life. No, not that one. He took another police officer's life. Now, I'm going to read the story out for you guys just so I don't miss any of the details. But again, this is going to be used as another opportunity to create a division between us all. And that's what breaks my heart. Are there corrupt police officers? Absolutely. Are there racist police officers? Absolutely. Is it this massive, a huge systemic problem that's taking place? Not in the way that you've been told. Are black people being hunted down the streets? I've talked to people internationally and they believe that in America, black men and black women are just being mowed down in the streets by police officers. That's a lie. Instead, there are more cases of a police officer looking to defend themselves. Probably every 1 in 1,000 is going to be just because they were pure out racist and just wanted to take a black life. In the same way, it is vice versa, right? Well, according to statistics, we don't have to go all the way there. Okay, we'll just take one dose of facts at a time. But let's get into the story. The title is Horror Chain of Events in Ohio as Man is Charged with Unaliving a Deputy day after cops unalived his son. Okay, I'm going to have to do some of that censorship. It's YouTube. It is what it is. Twin tragedies unfold in less than 24 hours in Ohio this week after a teen was shot and unalived by a Cincinnati cop, and his father then allegedly mowed down a retired sheriff's. This dude was retired. He took out a retired police officer's life with his car after being shown footage of his son's death. Wow. A family lawyer told the Post. Rodney Hinton Jr. appeared in court Saturday to face an aggravated unaliving charge in the death of the deputy, prosecutors say. On Friday morning, 2 hours before the deputy was struck and unalived, Hinton Jr., 38, had gone with family members to meet with Cincinnati Police Chief Teresa A. Thietge, that's a new one, to view police camera footage of the death of his son, Ryan. Ryan Hinton and the 3 others were accused of stealing a car in the East Price Hill section of Cincinnati. So there's 2 things here. The father who retaliated, I can't say that, I would have not wanted some sort of get back. However, his son, as he saw in the footage, stole a car and had a loaded weapon on him. As a father, you should at some point say, my child was committing a crime and he obviously, he didn't deserve, quote unquote, to have his life taken. At least we'll see if he, quote unquote, deserved it, if it was truly self-defense, but he still was committing a crime. Where have we maybe gone wrong here in raising our son to move in such a way? But my assumption is the father might be the exact same way. He lives by the street code. He saw no problem with his son being a criminal. He only saw a problem in his son having his life taken, and therefore he's going to get, his get back, an eye for an eye sort of situation. This wasn't like an innocent bystander. His son was just taken out. No. It wasn't one of those situations. It was a police chase. All right, so where am I? They said Thursday when officers approached the stolen car, which the owner had outfitted with a tracking device. Good. Folks, if you got things of that much value, track them. Throw 10 tracking devices if necessary. It's worth the purchase. The teens immediately begun to ran. Footage showed police believed Ryan Hinton, 18, was armed and opened fire, fatally pewing him. Hinton family attorney Michael Wright told the Post. The father left the room before he even saw the end of the video, Wright told the police. So he wouldn't even watch the whole video. He was just like, okay, I'm going to go get my get back. I mean, of course, he's enraged. He's just thinking my son was taken. All he needed was an excuse to get a life for a life. And I will assume that there was already a deep hate and disdain for the police, as there is in much of the quote unquote black community. Not just because of historic context, but because of the propaganda. You know, when you're told that these people are your enemy, they're gunning you down, they don't care about your life, etc., it tends to end up in very ugly situations like this one right here. He was upset, very distraught watching your son being unalived. I can't imagine that pain. And it's true. Again, what we all do, we can only assume. But take out another person who wasn't even involved's life, that's crazy. The police who opened fire said Ryan Hinton had pointed the weapon at him. The teen shot twice in the chest and arm. The police chief, however you pronounce her name, said at a news conference. She said that the weapon was loaded, but there was no indication he actually shot at a cop. Now, for me, I say if you point the weapon, self-defense is... You catch what I'm throwing. If I get you before you get me, that's self-defense. The teen, read that. The officer who shot Hinton Jr. is on paid administrative leave for the week, while the deputy, so he's on leave. Again, he's going to get his day in court, etc. And let's let the evidence play out. But he gets to be on leave while a innocent cop who came off of retirement has lost his life or has had his life taken from him. Wright, a close family friend of civil rights attorney Ben Crump, that guy's scum of the earth, he is Al Sharpton type, said the Hinton family hired him to investigate. Of course they did. And the family viewed only a short clip of the incident. The Hintons are African American. The retired deputy chief, or sheriff, I keep saying chief, my goodness, sheriff, who died in the hospital Friday, is believed to be white. Yep, they got to throw that in. It's necessary, right? The deputy had retired in December, but returned for a gig directing traffic. The man was working traffic just to get slammed into by a car, not by accident, but very intentionally, near the University of Cincinnati campus during graduation ceremonies when Rodney Hinton Jr. struck and took his life from him. Killed sometimes is even too loose. Took his life. Cincinnati police told local media. Other deputies crowded the courtroom Saturday in support of their fallen colleague, the Cincinnati Enquirer reported. Judge Tyrone Yates set no bond for Hinton Jr., who is next due in court on Tuesday. Good for you, Tyrone. Tyrone Yates is his judge. We'll see where this goes. But yeah, it's really unfortunate. I feel for the mother and the aunties and the uncles, grandpas, whoever who lost, this boy who made decisions that led to his demise. But the true victim here is the police officer who had his life taken. That's the true victim. And as far as the cop who actually took the young man's life, we'll see. If it was justified, then self-defense it is. If it wasn't, then I believe he should do the time necessary. But again, he was on the run as he committed a crime with a loaded weapon on him. So we will see as this unfolds. But yeah, this is a cultural problem, as I oftentimes refer to. It's a cultural problem. And unfortunately, I believe there's an agenda that is, the divide and conquer sort of operation that's taken place to create some sort of racial warfare. Racial relations were getting better and better and better for the last maybe 60 to 80 years. As crazy as that may sound to some of y'all, things were getting better. I've had plenty of conversations with older folks who said they've never seen it this bad before, because there's a concerted effort to use this as a mass distraction, and frankly, to probably take away a lot of our rights. If we're going to be all the way real about it, then certain entities, certain individuals can then have excuses to take away civil liberties. So, yeah, this is really an unfortunate case. And I wish that truth come to the surface and do what it does. That's it. Till the next time, peace. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Now, if you'd like to stay around, make sure to click that little subscribe button down there, or you can show some love by going to the description below and clicking on the button titled Buy Me a Coffee. Leave a little something there, or click on the Cash App. Leave a little something here. Till the next time, peace.
I fell in love with the sunshine. I fell in love with the light. I fell in love with the full moon. I fell in love with the night. I can see the light again. I can see the light. You can see the life in him illuminate the night. I know the time is taking. A 3-6-5, that's a full rotation. I see you looking up, you know them constellations. Constantly gazing like house of praises, you get to praising.